Hey, everybody, welcome to this Board Game Life episode number 108. So that's 108. This episode's titled Guide to a Great Game Night. I bet you're wondering what that's all about. Well, we'll tell you in a little bit. Just stick with us. I am one of your fine hosts for today. My name is Rob, and with me, as always, I got my good buddy.
Howdy how. How's it going?
Good. Yeah, this is the show about gaming, board games, tabletop games, card games, any kind of game, right? And who knows what else we'll talk about as well. And
just not those vile video games.
Yeah. Although I could bring something up, but I won't. I'll tell you later. But yeah, let's get on with the show over here. You excited to talk about stuff tonight?
I
am. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this because this is a good topic. And before we get on with the main shoe, I just want to make a quick mention that we've got a ton of content out on YouTube. Mark's been doing a heck of a lot of videos, putting up unboxings. There's playthroughs, reviews. He's got a mailbag section. You're doing at least a video like every day on average.
On average, yeah.
And,
it's I haven't had any in the last couple of days. I've just had a lot going on.
Yeah.
With contractors, but I've got
that's fine.
I'm expecting more delivery, like 3 more boxes of stuff coming in this week.
Oh,
so
goodies.
I'll have some more stuff.
So we know there's a definite mailbag coming in there, or
couple mailbags, couple unboxings.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so like, would you say a mailbag is per day or per shipment? Or it depends?
It depends. It's whenever something comes in, I open. If I get 3 boxes in the same day, that's a single mailbag video.
Yeah.
Those are just showing what comes in. And then I do separate videos for anything that comes in. I'll do a separate video to unbox those and show content and what comes in them.
And you can also say that the mailbags are kind of like a
teaser
sheet or a teaser or sneak peek into what's coming.
Yes.
What's coming down the road soon.
And I got some exciting things coming this week.
Ooh.
So I'll just
I
leave
still
it
haven't
at that.
gotten anything for Brink.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, not Brink. Tend.
Oh, no. Tend is the 15-pound flipping, right?
Yeah.
But that is the Super Deluxe Edition, which can play up to like 12 people. So if
I'm pretty sure I didn't
buy that one, then it should be at least half the weight.
Yeah, or it's the Super Deluxe you get it first edition, kind of like in those video game things where if you get the Super Mega Deluxe Edition, you get to play like a couple days early.
Yeah.
You get to play on Friday as opposed to waiting until Tuesday. Maybe that's the same thing with that. Not on purpose, but hey, that's how it works out. And when they're shipping out thousands of games, depending on where you are in the country, and maybe my UPS guy is playing it at home right now.
Probably. But this is a first for me that's something we've both ordered. Normally you get it first. This is the first time I've gotten something we both ordered. And I have it way in advance. Yeah. Well,
even a couple of days.
You're 20 strong. Mine is supposedly finally shipped and will maybe arrive this week. So you've had that for a while.
That's true. That is true. And that's.
But mine was due to. I bought something you didn't.
This one, right?
Yes. The big crate.
The big crate and the Tanglewoods.
Yeah, the Tanglewoods campaign.
Heavy.
I made the mistake of getting alloy dice, and they had problems with the dice. That's why my shipment was delayed. But now they've said they've got them and they're shipping. So
if they're super heavy, I wonder if they would damage a table.
I wouldn't think they're that heavy.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. Tune in. So.
It should come with one of those furniture crayons You know what I'm talking about, where you fill in the scratches or the markers,
or just a playmat,
some sandpaper, a buffing compound.
There you go.
Yeah. But anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe to that. Heck, even if you listen to our podcast on there, like and subscribe through there. Why not?
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about what we've gotten to the table recently. You want to start off this week?
Sure. So I got to play Andromeda's Edge. So if you have subscribed to the channel and watched, you've seen some unboxings of Andromeda's Edge along with the deluxe component kit. Oh man, that thing's beautiful. But I did get this played 2 weeks ago, and it's such a fantastic game. I really like it. So if you're familiar with Dwellings of Eldervale, this is basically the same game, just a science fiction take on it with some changes. I mean, it's not a one for one. This is kind of like, in my opinion, an improved upon. The Dwellings of Eldervale is an excellent game. I really did enjoy it. But this one, I think, fits my need. That's why I didn't buy both. I just bought this one. And I really do enjoy Andromeda's Edge. There is so much to the game. And it just excellent gameplay. Absolutely love it. And it's a beauty to see on the table. I also got to play Fleet, the dice game again. I played this at a friend's and really liked it, so I bought a copy, so I have it, and I did play this with some friends. Got in some mountain goats. I think, Rob, you've got this as under a different name. I can never remember what it used to be called.
Oh, wasn't it Level X?
Probably. Yeah. Where you're going up the top, then when you're there, you're getting the points, and then until someone kicks you off the top spot.
Yeah, that's one of the Easy Play games.
Yeah. So
their Easy Play series. That's not the publisher.
Right. So, but yeah, got mountain goats. It's kind of a favorite here in the family. Got to play some more Botswana. So that's become a quick favorite. Very simple game, fun to play. Very quick games. A card game with these very nice wooden meeples at 25th Century Games has just republished this, and it's a really nice take on that. I got Wyrmspan back to the table. So one of the guys in my game group bought this game a while ago. He keeps bringing it every week, and we've never played it. And we always have other stuff. And I'm like, you know what? And I got the Dragon Academy expansion in. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to take this with us. So last week, we did finally get to play it with him. And I know he was happy to get it played. He really enjoyed it. And the Dragon Academy expansion, one thing I'll say about this, so out of the span, Wingspan, Wyrmspan, Finspan, personally, I think Wyrmspan is my favorite. I think it's the best one.
Really?
Yeah. It's got the most meat on the bone, and it loses the aggravation of the bird feeder that you have in Wingspan. So in Wyrmspan, you can go get resources and you can get what you want. They've changed the way you do those. And I really like the way the game is set up to get dragon cards or cave cards or resources. You can do that on your turn, go through and do these various things, and then take the resources that you need. So I like that. I always hated that bird feeder. But a lot of times with a game like this, where you get an expansion, it's like just a bunch of more cards. Well, there are cards added to this game. Okay. They add a new, like an age. So they have like small, large hatchlings, and now they've got I think I don't know if they had medium-sized dragons, but they now added what they call fledglings, which are basically, they call them like teenagers, and you can train these dragons to get additional bonuses, and so it adds in these new resource cubes. It adds in these different endgame bonuses and stuff. So instead of just adding in cards, it added in almost like a lot more cards, but they play different than before, or what the others have. So it does add additional depth to the game, which I like. It wasn't just throw more cards and make money. The other thing they did, which I really love, was, in fact, I got the old one right here. So the round tracker for original Wyrmspan looked like this. So you would track each round at the top, and you'd have your little cardboard things that would say what the bonuses are for each round. So then you put your little markers down here who scores based on had the most eggs or had the most large dragons or most aggressive dragons, whoever has. But then in the new one, if they still have this, but they added this part at the bottom. And so the first player to pass in the round gets to pick from these options at the bottom. And what it is your starting resources for the next round. So in the previous game, everyone would get 6 coins, which is 6 turns. You would start out by this. Now you can still take the 6 coins, but that's all you're going to get. Or you could pick maybe 5 turns plus a resource, specific resources. So, and it's like whoever goes out first gets first pick. So once that's gone, then others as they go out have to choose from others, and that's your starting resources for the next round. And that happens at the end of rounds 1, 2, and 3. And at the end of round 3, they're different. So there's a section there for round 1 and 2. They're the same, but then in round 3, it's completely different, options. So it really kind of, because you can carry a turn from one round into the other, but then you lose that ability to, take an extra turn or have a full set of turns in that first round. So now you're trying to judge, do I want to hold on to that and go out earlier before anyone else to try to get the resources that I want? It really added a level of complexity that everybody that we played with really enjoyed that aspect. So Dragon Academy is the new expansion for Wyrmspan. It's not just more cards. They did add, like I said, that new way to get resources in the rest of the game. And they added more guild boards, which give you more resources and different types of things. And they also put in more round abilities, which I would show, the little cardboard things that go on your round tracker. They put more of those in to have the most fledgling dragons because they put new dragons. So they're going to have new things to work with that. So it does add quite a few more things into the game. It's a very satisfactory expansion that we put in, and it's not anything like a lot of times you don't play the expansions because you're teaching someone, and we were teaching some people, but this didn't affect or cause additional things to learn. It fit right in. It expanded it, and it wasn't anything that it was harder to teach because you put an expansion in. So this is one it's in, and it's like I'll play it every time. It's in the game. It will be shuffled in and added in every single time. So don't overlook this one as a money grab. There's some really good content to this game, so it makes a great game even better. Also played some Twinkle Twinkle, and it's a quick little all-play game that I think it's fun. Then Rob and I talked Tend earlier. This is a huge game. Again, if the retail won't be as big, it's for 6 players. The one I got supports 12. So it has double the amount of player sheets, double the amount of scratch off cards, double the amount of pens, because every player gets 6 markers, I think it is. So there's a bunch of markers in my game, bunch of extra cards. So, but this is, if you are familiar with Hadrian's Wall, something like that, this reminds me of Hadrian's Wall only in the fact that you have multiple sheets of things you're working with in front of you. And when you are taking actions, you're doing things to kind of spawn more things, or you're trying to kind of let's do this, and because I have this ability or I've upgraded this, I now get this. And you can't, it's something like with Hadrian's Wall, you can't focus on everything in front of you. You got to kind of decide, how am I going to play this game? What am I going to focus on? And there's things you will ignore and never do. Tend is very much the same way, but I think it's a bit more approachable. But I feel like there's a lot more going on. And I did play once, just a single playthrough. And at the end of it, I remember watching the Ivy Studios solo playthrough on YouTube, and the guy ended up with like all these points. I got like 50 points or something. I'm like, man, I did terrible. Like, so, but it was my first time I'm trying to learn the game. So it's one of those that as you go through, kind of understand that you can't do everything, that you got to kind of focus on certain things, and you learn what those things are going to do to help you achieve other goals. It will, those scores will ramp up. But I did like it. I am planning to take it with me to game night tomorrow night. We'll see if I can get it to the table with some friends and see what they think. But I do like it. And I think it's a pretty simple, straightforward game once you've kind of run through it. And I think it's easier to learn than like a Hadrian's Wall. So we'll see. I will have more to report on that after I get it played with a group. And then last, I got together a couple more friends and we started Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Oh man, this is awesome. I am having so much fun. Like, it is really good. And it is now, we've played the first 4 missions, stories, campaigns, levels, whatever you want to call them. And, oh boy, is it the next one is going to be brutal. I'm not going to say why. I don't want to spoil anything because it is a legacy game, but this game is fantastic. I'm hoping we get to continue it again this weekend because I want to play more. It is so good. So that's Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Yes, very, very good game.
Wow. Oldie but a goodie.
No. All right. That's what I did this week, Rob. How about yourself?
For me, I finally got a copy of The Hobbit, There and Back Again. This is a game that I was on the hunt for when we were over at Gen Con. If you remember, we went over to the area like twice looking for this game. The first time, couldn't find it. The girl didn't even know what we were talking about because it was...
because she had the last copy and wasn't going to give it up. Yeah, they were playing it in the back. No, just kidding. But what was sort of confusing about it, I guess, when we were over there at Gen Con, was that it was like listed as, was it being under Z-Man or something like that, but it was actually an Office Dog. That's the name of the company that did it. It was an Office Dog game, and it was shown as like being at a certain area, but it wasn't there. Then eventually I found out from somebody that works there that it wasn't at the show, even though I was under the impression that it was based on what I saw. It was listed at that booth we were at. It was on their store sign.
Yeah, but they did not have it. It was going to be available. I want to say they said like in September. Well, late October. I got it. I had to wait, and it was definitely worth the wait. Now, this game, I would, instead of saying like Hobbit There and Back Again, I would call it Hobbit the Line Drawing Game. Because that's basically what you're doing, and it's a fun little game. It's loosely set, I guess, in the premise of the Hobbit, right? So you got your Hobbit dudes, you got Gandalf and Thorin. It's like the soldier dude. Apparently, I'm not a big Lord of the Rings person.
Apparently,
because I'm unsure of the people's names, but I definitely do enjoy this game. Yeah, the premise of this one is basically everybody's rolling dice, and and actually, let me take a step back and say the production on this game is really great. They did such a nice job with the production. The chits are very thick and meaty, easily twice as thick as a normal game. the player boards come in these books. So you get 4 of these little adventure books, campaign books, whatever you want to call them. And there's 8 different mini games is maybe a better word, but there's 8 different campaigns, and each one's different, has different rules, different goals. It functions differently. So technically this is kind of like 8 different games in one, using all the same stuff. But the basic gist is the players roll the dice, and then there's various methods for choosing certain dice, and then you choose the dice, and then you draw on your board depending on what you pick. Like you might get swords, you might get bread, you might get wizard hats, you might get lines. When you get the lines, there's some are straight, some are crosses, some are multiple lines together, like an angle, like a right turn and a straight. And what you're doing is you're taking whatever these shapes are, not shapes, whatever these lines are, and then you're trying to accomplish something on your board using a dry erase marker. You draw on your board in your little book, and you're trying to accomplish something. It's also got a decent solo game. Not fully sure on what I think about the solo game. I want to say I almost prefer the regular game over the solo game, but the solo game works in a pinch. The main difference is in the solo game is you play almost like you do in the regular game, except you're restricted in the number of rounds. So for example, in the first campaign, you play 8 rounds, and then you score yourself, and then it's kind of like, what's your score? Beat your score next time you play. However, when you're restricted at 8, for example, in the first campaign, it doesn't seem like you can do enough. So it's really like a slightly different game than the normal game, because it's more of a rush, sort of like, how can I score as many points as possible before the game ends? And that is an interesting way to go about it, whereas the regular game tends to be more like, how can I finish the goal of this campaign before everybody else and not screw myself out of points? Or maybe that's the gist out of a lot of games. But I definitely give this game a thumbs up. It was worth the wait. I enjoy it. Oh. And also Asmodee, which is the mothership of the Office Dog Company, they have a thing where if you get it from certain local game stores, you can get a custom dice for this. So there's some benefit from picking it up from your local FLGS. But definitely a good game, worth the wait, and I definitely liked it. So Mark, make sure you order it.
Yeah.
Just saying. Anyway, that's all that I had for this week. But if you're wondering on how you can contact us,
I was just wondering, how does someone reach us?
There's a whole ton of ways. Definitely, if you catch any of our videos on YouTube, and why not? You should be. Definitely leave a comment down there. We love seeing comments on there. And you can also reach out to us on our guild on BGG, on any of our posts on BGG, and also send us an email at contact@thisboardgamelife. And if you send us an MP3 recording, if you want to ask us a question, make any comments, we'll play it on the show. All right, moving on to the news section. We got a couple of things. Yes, we got a couple of things. So first off, this is a little bit of I guess, sad news in some respects. And that's that Amigo is going to be closing up shop. That's Amigo Games Inc., which is the U.S. subsidiary, arm, division, whatever you want to call it. So Amigo Spiel out of Germany is the Amigo that we've known for a long, long time. And the U.S. portion of it was formed, about 8 years ago, to distribute the games here in the United States under their own label. Previously, they had partnered with different publishers that are based in the United States to publish the games, but this way they could do it themselves. So they're the company that they did Bonanza. They did No Thanks.
Love that game.
Yeah. They did No Thanks. They did
Take 5.
Yep. There's a whole slew of games. A lot of them are, like little card games. Saboteur is another one.
Oh, like
solid games.
Yeah.
That have been around for like a long time. And it's going to be sad to see them go. However, the games are still going to stick around. They're still going to be available, of course, under the main Amigo brand, which is, Europe based. And maybe it's going to open them up for, to go back to how things were, where there's different partners that are, going to publish for them. So, yeah, sad to see them go, but we know that the games will live on. Yeah, the next one is Lords of Waterdeep. Right? That's I'll say it's a classic game. It's
awesome.
Yeah. It's been around for some time. I don't remember exactly when it released.
2011.
2011. Yeah, 2011. It came out under the Avalon Hill, I think is under the Avalon Hill brand, like when they got revived. And, that is under Hasbro. So Renegade Games has signed on to reprint Lords of Waterdeep along with the Scoundrels of Skullport expansion. And look for this to hit retail around, April 2026. I don't know if this one has been hard to find. I don't think so. I know you picked it up. Was it easy to get?
Yeah, and I see this in my I've seen it sell out in my local store and then get restocked later on. It's, so I don't know how hard it is.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see that they're, like announcing a reprint because it's like, I think you can get it currently.
Yeah. So
unless they stop making it like recently,
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they had some recent changes. Yeah, and from what we see, it looks like it's just going to be a regular reprint. Probably just with the Renegade logo on the box. So it doesn't seem to be like a reimagining, changing the components. Although it would be cool if they changed the cubes to maybe the little dudes or something.
Yeah.
Like what is those companies
Meeple Source?
Yes, like Meeple Source that do the little Meeple figures and stuff you can find on Etsy.
Mark Source.
Yes.
My little white wizard.
Mm-hmm. But so Renegade is going to be doing that business there, and the retail release of it is going to be $55 for the regular game, and then the expansion Scoundrels of Skullport is going to be $40 at retail.
Well worth it.
Yes.
Well worth the price.
For a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's going to be that strange box again.
Oh, I would hope not.
Yeah.
I do not like the box.
Yeah.
The Lords of Waterdeep comes in. Scoundrels of Skullport's a normal box, but the Lords of Waterdeep's it's a rectangular box, but it's like a half. Yeah, it's a half box. It's like, oh,
yeah,
don't like that.
Or isn't it like a little less than half, like a 30 or 40% box? Because I want to say it had like a little gap in the middle or something like that. Because
it does have a gap. Where did I put it? Used to be right there.
Yeah,
but I have reshuffled a ton of stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
It's here somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could show you the box.
Yeah,
what did I do with it?
Yeah, play the game. Which shelf is it on? Or since it's a Kallax, which cube is it in? That's okay.
Well, it's annoying.
Yeah.
And this makes great video for me to have my back to the camera.
Yeah, as you're causing chaos with the white balance. Yeah, you need to start facing the camera again so your pastiness just resets the white balance.
Now I got to look this way again. It's driving me nuts. Where is it?
Yeah, nuts. NVTS. Nuts.
I know it's here.
It's from a movie. Some of you might have gotten that reference. Anyway, next up, I'll move on.
I found it. It's up. It's on the top of the shelf. They're both laying down. That's why it was where I wasn't looking. Mm-hmm. But I do see them up in the corner.
Okay.
Not that anyone cares. That was like a waste of 5 minutes of. So sorry, everybody.
Yeah. And so next up, Capstone sent out a thing that they're going to be doing a Galileo Galilei expansion. Luna is going to hit retail in Q4 of 2025 at a cost of $34.99 for the retail price. It supports 1 to 4 players, plays in 90 minutes, and with Luna, it focuses on the moon because it adds a moon board. Yes. What shape is the moon board? Is it round like the moon? I don't know. We shall see.
Brick of cheese.
Yes. And so it adds a moon board as well as a new scoring mechanic. It contains new playable characters that have their own abilities and the new Grand Inquisitors. That does not sound good. From that time, anything with Inquis in it is probably not good. So the Grand Inquisitors who reward players for successfully persuading them. Anyway, so yeah, we can look forward to that coming up soon because it is fourth quarter of 2025 already. Right? Because that started in October, November, December. Yep.
Yeah, I need to get that on order.
Yeah. And then last up, I mean, we just had Spielessen. Man, there was so much content from that thing. That thing was like ridiculous in a good way, in definitely in a good way. There were so many games as part of it. What the Eric Martin Essen BGG list had like 1,300. Let me pull it up. It had like 1,300 things, I want to say, in the list. Where is it? There it is. 1,368. So 1,368 titles. That's like more than double Gen Con, I think. Because Gen Con was like 600 or 700, something like that. I might be wrong on that, but yeah, a ton of games. You know, we've seen a whole lot of content come out. You know, folks that were over there posting their hauls. You know, playing different games, what they liked. I know I'm probably going to be watching that stuff for the next couple of weeks, just because of the amount of stuff that came out on it. And so, anyway, thing that I wanted to mention was they set an attendance record, for Essen itself, where previously in 2019, their record that they had was 204,000 people. This year, total attendance was 220,000. So they beat it by 16,000. And they also, this year, they increased the footprint of the show. They added a 7th hall this year. But I thought the 7th hall was only going to have like some special like media stuff, or it wasn't. I thought I remember reading that it wasn't like a full hall. But anyway, they had 948 companies exhibiting there from 50 countries.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Which apparently is similar to what they had last year. And then they showed 1,700 new game releases were showcased. Wow. So what is that? You basically would need to play probably, if you were to play that, all those games in 1 year, you would need to play 6 new games a day. Probably 5-6 new games a day for an entire year to play everything that came out. And they also added a stage to bring activities into higher traffic areas. And they set a new record there for the largest simultaneous Catan Connect game of all time, which
really?
was hosted by the publisher, which I think is what, Asmodee now, in conjunction with the 30th anniversary of the game. And it had 1,170 simultaneous players. That's pretty cool.
Couple, 2, 3.
Yeah. A couple more things. The show was sold out for all 4 days. And and their like press release that they had, they basically said it was at levels below the maximum capacity of the halls. So, there's the disclaimer so that people wouldn't be like, it was overcrowded. They allowed more people than was safe to be there. So, I guess they had to put that out there. And, they apparently structured things in such a way to allow for, proper traffic flow and stuff. That's really important in any kind of venue or anything like that, whether it's, festivals, concerts, any conventions and stuff like that. There's actually a science to what I'll call like crowd control, traffic flow, something like that. And, you have to think things out to not create choke points, where, especially in places where a lot of people are like being herded through, you don't want to have like a choke point that can, cause people to, be hurt or to just really back stuff up. So, very cool that they did what they did. And it's officially over. The convention season is officially over for 2025, and everybody can relax and stay at home and play all of the games that they picked up. And then us in the United States, we can patiently wait for those games to be available in the United States. Unless, you want to order from Germany or Amazon.de or whatever, and, get your stuff delivered by DHL.
Yeah.
And, hopefully it's got English stuff in it. But
you can hope.
Yeah. I used to do that way back when, before a lot of games were really popular, or not really popular. Before we started having stuff simultaneously be released here in the United States, which is a lot more common now, stuff would be released over there, and then, you would have to do just what I just said, where you're ordering stuff from like a German game store and then cringing to find out how much the shipping is going to be.
Yeah.
Amazon.de, was a good source for some things, but there's restrictions on some games. They can't sell everything overseas now.
Huh.
And then some of the games that you get, they wouldn't have English text. So it was really common to go to BGG, you get your translation. For cards, you would have to sleeve them and then drop in these like little, pieces of paper with the translation on it, so what you're looking at. And then, eventually the games started coming out with like international symbols, where the cards weren't necessarily text-based anymore. But the stuff that we used to have to go through. And on a side note, I know I'm taking this multi-levels off track here, but there was Fun Again Games. Do you remember them? They went out of business not too long ago. I think maybe it was like a year ago. But anyway, Fun Again Games was a game store. And what they used to do is they used to have an Essen Mule service, which was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so when they go over there, they basically negotiate to purchase, 10, 20 copies of this, 20 copies of that. And they load everything up on pallets and then ship it to the United States. So you order on their website, you see like, okay, this is all the stuff that we're getting. Buy your copy. Get it in a couple weeks. So it would go to them. I want to say they were in Utah or something like that.
Oregon.
Okay.
Looks like they're still open. They got a store in Eugene, Oregon, and Ashland, Oregon as well.
Yeah, but I think their online presence is gone. Because they used to have the store, then they would sell stuff online as well in an online store, and then they started doing Kickstarter fulfillment. So maybe it's the stores are still there and the just the online stuff stopped, and I don't know if they ship anymore. But that was always awesome, because I remember going through the list. Oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, and then I'd look to see, okay, is this game in English? Yes or no? And then I put my order and wait, and then rejoice when it ships. But anyway, that was Essen 2025, and yeah, it would be cool if you and I can make it out there one day, because looks like it's a totally different experience than Gen Con, which we've gone to a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
long flight, man.
Yeah. Yes. So, this would be it's been a while since you've been in Germany. So
yeah.
But
day or two.
Won't be your first rodeo being in Germany, though. But anyway, so that's it for the news. On to the main topic of the show, which is
what makes a great game night, Rob?
Yes, that's a good question. How about if we talk about it? Okay.
How about?
Well, let me say what is like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
To a great game night, not just an okay great game night, not a mediocre one, but
a game night that cannot be surpassed.
Exactly. The bestest ever is, of course, if you and me are there. Duh.
You know it.
Yes.
I'm surprised we even had to say it.
I know. Slightly less than that would be if one of us is there. But of course, the big highlight would be if Rob and Mark are there.
Yeah. So.
For sure.
But if we can't be there, just find a group of friends, that like games. I guess they'll do.
Yes.
You'll have to make do without us.
and you know what? I can caveat this because, we've all done gaming with reluctant friends and reluctant family. So we can just say a great game night is with great friends and people and family that actually want to play a game.
Yes.
How about that?
That is a requirement.
Instead of being coerced or forced. But hey, that's why we have kids, isn't it? To play games with, whether or not they want to.
And even then, they may not be great game nights, but it was a game night, so at least it counts for that.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So, yeah, you gotta have, like Rob says, you gotta have people that want to play. And if you don't have those types of people around you, recommend, looking at like meetup.com and looking in your area for gaming groups. That's a good way to find. You can probably look on your, what do you call it? Look for game stores, do a search for friendly local game stores. And I don't mean a Target or Walmart. I mean like your little mom and pop board game shops, and check them out. Board game cafes, things like that. They will usually have billboards, and you might find a game group is posted. I was lucky enough at the store I go to the most of the time that they have a big open playing area, and I spoke with them, and once we had our group, regularly meeting there, I spoke with them, and now they advertise us on their website, or not on their website, but they're on their Facebook group, in their Discord group, and in their TVs. They got TVs and stuff in the gaming area that show events, and we've got a whole thing there that comes up and advertises us. So, people will see that and like, oh, I'll come here on Wednesday nights, and then they come looking for us, and the group just grows. So there's lots of ways to find gaming people if you don't have one. So try some of those means if you don't have the right group of friends or family.
Oh yeah. And I could probably also add that if you go down that route and, do meetup or whatever, that can like really jumpstart your gaming experience, where, you might only have the ability to play like occasionally, and depending on the group that you play with or groups, right?
Yep.
If there's a group that only meets once a month, you can play with multiple groups.
Yeah.
And get your, gaming in weekly or multiple times a week. And, even from there, start your own.
Absolutely.
So
that's what I did. And that's why I'm able to play so many times is, I got my group that I run every Wednesday night, and then there's people there that want to get together on other days and do things, or like the campaign. Those people I play with are from my normal game group, but we'll get together on a Saturday evening to do like campaigns or longer games. So yeah, it's a great way to expand your gaming, meet new people, get into gaming. If you're like, I can't get my friends, I can't get my family to do it. You keep buying games and playing solo, and just go out there and find a group in a local, and it's awesome. Mm-hmm. Some great people out there. Some not so great, but the majority, the majority will be great. I can say that. So, I think the next one is if you are going to host. Okay, so this is kind of the idea here is. The idea is how to host a great game night. And if you are the host...
Not necessarily like at your house, but anywhere, right? So
right. I host every week at a game store. So
yes,
because I'm kind of in charge of it. But announce it in advance, if you have a group or you're just going to get with friends, you can send an email, have a newsletter, have a Discord group. We have a Discord group for ours. And so the people that are always coming, They can get in there and they can see. We have one, and I just posted it a little bit ago. Here's what I'm bringing, and someone else said, hey, here's what they're going to bring. So it lets the people know, hey, these people are coming. Here's the games that are going to be there. And even better than that, we post links to YouTube how to play videos so that if they have the ability, they can come prepared. They can kind of watch how to play, see how the game plays. That also helps them determine if they're interested in playing something that maybe they've not played before. So right now we've got in our Discord for tomorrow, we have 4 games. So myself and another guy posted 2 games each that we're going to be bringing. And we'll have other people that will bring stuff, So it doesn't lock you in, but it lets people know what's going to be there. And then they can show interest or they can come prepared to play it. And it'll make that gaming a little bit easier to get tabled.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing is when you're choosing the games, have games that are accessible to everybody, maybe even like the new hotness, right? So have games that are like exciting.
Monopoly.
Scrabble.
Sorry.
Yes.
Chutes and ladders, things that'll appeal to people of all ages.
Yeah. If your group is all heavy gamers, have heavy games, don't go in and, bring a roll and move game, like Sorry or whatever. I would say this is kind of like a no-brainer for most folks, right? But, if you don't have like a huge selection of, we'll say like exciting games, I'm sure other people in the group do, and they'll be happy to bring them.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty too of getting involved in a group is you don't have to buy everything. You can ask someone, hey, I know you have this. I would love to play it. Would you be willing to bring it and play this? And like my experience has been absolutely, because as gamers, we want to play our games. And when someone reaches out and says, hey, I see, because you could, if you have a list, or what I like to do too is encourage you to have your list of games like on BGG and share that link to the group so people can go through what you have. And that way people might ask, hey, I see you've got Cosmic Encounter. I've heard a lot of good things. I'd really like to play it. Okay, well, you're going to be there next Wednesday or 2 Wednesdays from now or whatever your game night is. And you slot that in for that day when that person's going to be there. And then you let everyone else know, hey, I'm bringing this, and show, link those. And that gets people more excited than like, well, I don't even know what they're going to play, or what if they don't play something I like, or I don't know how to play. That can be intimidating to people, and maybe people won't show up because they don't have that information, or they feel like, oh, I don't know how to play. So here, send the link. Now you can watch it,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was joking, obviously, with Monopoly and things like that. But
yeah.
Those
games have their place, right?
They do. And the one thing you want to make sure is that try to, if it's a group of friends or family, then you are going to cater to them, and you might have more party style games or things like that for that game night. If you're hosting a game night like I do at a game store with regular hardcore gamers, we tend to bring a mix of, sometimes we'll do a lightweight, something just to sit down. It takes 10 minutes, like 15 minutes. A starter while people are showing up. You can still start playing something, get it going. But then we will play, and sometimes you'll have people want to play Andromeda's Edge. And then others are like, that's a little beyond me. And so they're going to play something like Point Salad,
Sure.
You can have a variety of games and have multiple, depending on the size of your group, you can have multiple tables of games going on, some harder than others, just to kind of meet those needs, or allow people to play what they want, depending on their mood that day.
Right. Oh, and plus also people are at different levels, right? You get some folks that are, let's say, just getting into the hobby, they're not necessarily going to be ready to play Twilight Struggle, right? At the first get-go. You have to like ramp them up and, get them comfortable, familiar with stuff.
Yeah, so we had, I mentioned Monopoly because we have a guy who just joined our group, and that's kind of been his experience, very, those types of games. He's not really, he doesn't even classify himself as a gamer necessarily because he's like, well, that's what I played, and we're like, that's okay.
I play Scrabble,
yeah,
maybe
but
that's his thing.
That's okay. He wants to dive into it more, and we threw him into Andromeda's Edge on his first night.
Oh boy.
And we actually had an extra person who taught the games, who so kind of stood there next to him and helped him to understand and kind of played the game with him. And he had a good time, and he came back the next week and jumped into some other things like Shadow Hunters, and I think he played. What did he play with us? I forgot. But Wyrmspan. So he played Wyrmspan with us last week, and he was like, "Yeah, this is a lot of fun." So, again, don't be afraid to make that leap. And again, if you have a great group of people, then you don't worry about, like, my group doesn't worry about winning or losing. And there's some people that win a lot. It's just they're just really good at games, but there's no like pressure. I don't feel like, oh, I got to win, or I'm like, if I mess up, people just, it's like, it's okay. No big deal. Like, it's a very relaxed, it allows for people to feel comfortable in coming in to learn something that might be out of their comfort zone. And next thing you know, they're an established gamer and playing these harder games and having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
So
another thing that makes for a great experience also is, of course, food and drink. And then I guess drink could be interpreted however you want it to be. But food, of course, is a big hot topic, right? Because some people do snacks, and not all snacks are game friendly.
True.
Stuff that leaves dirty digits, right?
You don't want Cheetos.
Residue. Yeah. Cheetos, Doritos, anything that has a dust on it or any kind of sauce
is a big
no. Because you know what? As careful as people are, I mean, we've all been in a situation where, let's say you're out at a restaurant and you're eating something with finger foods. And, you're careful. Like, I tend to use napkins a lot and, try to be clean. But you always get that point. Like, let's say you're eating a burrito and you get that sauce that drips on your finger and you don't feel it.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you touch something and you're like, how did I just leave a stain on this?
Yeah.
It happens.
It does.
No matter how careful we are. So, food.
You spill a drink. I had it happen. I did it. I felt terrible. We were at a restaurant and playing Raiders of the North Sea, and we were kind of crammed in. And I remember I was kind of sitting like this, because we had we had a bunch of us around the table. We didn't have the bigger table, and all of a sudden I knocked my drink over, and that's like, oh my gosh, like I'm like, oh, I feel sorry, just I'm ruining someone else's game, that. Thankfully, it was quick and we didn't get everything was able to be wiped up. But yeah, you got to be careful with things like that. If you don't, like where we're at now, we've got those heavy like beer mugs that they have and they serve the Cokes in. So
Sure.
like if I hit it, it ain't going anywhere. But you got to be careful of things like that. So if you have lighter glasses or, standard glasses, maybe put them off behind you or somewhere out of reach, and just go grab it every once in a while, but don't have it right next to your hands in your play area. And like Rob said, you don't want to drip stuff. We all eat like food. Like I have some pretty greasy stuff, but I got tons of napkins and I'm always, I'll take a bite and then I'm just clean before I'll ever touch anything. And as long as everyone respects that, then you'll have a good time. But try to make it not messy.
Yeah, I tend, so, we all have long game sessions or we like them, whether it's, on a weekend day or, you get there in the evening, Friday, Saturday night, and, you wind up playing till 3, 4 in the morning, whatever the case may be. And, that's a long time. It's a long time to go without eating, without drinking. And I really like the game nights where you have designated like food times, sort of like, hey, it's 5:00 now. At 8:00, we're going to order pizza. Who's in? And then everybody takes a food break where, you just, put a pause in the game, or if it's in between a game, and you just take 10 minutes, 15 minutes to eat and chit chat. And then you can enjoy your food and not have to worry about stuff.
Yes.
It gets kind of iffy in the mornings, right? Because if you're doing a long game session and it's like 1 a.m, you might get the munchies or something like that. And, want some snacks or something like that. But, I prefer to have the designated eating times where you just take a break and not worry about stuff.
Yeah, see, when you were here, you noticed we had M&Ms and pretzels on the table, and we were eating while we played, but those are clean. Yeah, that's the thing. You can have a lot of clean snacks available to eat while people play.
Yeah. And then if you're sitting there and you're chomping, it's a good distraction to unnerve your opponent so you can get the easy win. Or the crunching, or you eat with your mouth open, do the lip smacking. All that good stuff.
Next for a great game night is you want to make sure that you can get a group of people who are going to focus on the game, and especially the rules explanations, especially if they've not played. Make sure they're paying attention. And, if you've got to implement a no phones, nothing irritates me more when I've had this happen, explaining rules and people are on their phones texting someone else or something, and then they complain halfway through the game.
And they go, what?
Well, I didn't know that. I'm like, I explained it. You were on your phone, so I don't care that you missed it. And, sucks to be you. No, we're not gonna back this up because you couldn't be courteous enough to pay attention. So that's why it's good to send those how to play videos out. And if everyone's watched them, then we don't need to do a rules teach. You can just start playing unless anyone has questions, and it can speed up getting into the game quicker. But it's important to maybe establish with people like, hey, let's put our phones down, or let's try to. And typically, what happens is, I think if you've got games that flow better and you're not having long times in between players, that helps keep that at bay. But when you're running a game and it takes 20 minutes, I play my turn and it's going to be a good 15 20 minutes before it gets back to me, it can get boring. And then it's like, okay, what's going on? Or people start looking at their phones, and next thing you know, you're like, hey, Billy Bob, take your turn, we're waiting on you. And they're like, huh? So try to make limit the phone usage, even yourself, set that as a good example. Try to keep that at a minimum.
Yeah. Be present.
Yeah. You can't have the game night. Let's game.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not going to be present and focus on the game, why are you there? You're just wasting everybody's time.
Yep.
Another thing that can make a great game night is to have maybe some upgrades or deluxe editions or something for the game that will make it more of a memorable experience than a normal game. Like, have deluxe components, right? Have special editions of the game. Like if you're going to play Castles of Burgundy, have, the pimped out special edition. Or if you're going to
cheap, spring for the good stuff.
Yes. And if you're going to go to game night and you're going to bring a version, bring that delicious extra special version. Don't cheap out and say, I'm going to bring the cheap one because it's easy to carry. That's
Rob.
That's being lame. And plus, then there's the added bonus of like when the people leave and they enjoy the game, like, after you just played Bullet Heart, and then, with the deluxe components, then they're going to be wishing that they had the components. They're going to wish that they had the same version as Mark.
Yeah.
And They're going to struggle to get the deluxe components. True story.
Yep.
But what else?
All right. So another thing that you can do now, if you're whoa, that was loud in my ear. If you are at home or in a person's home, this is a lot easier to do. Unless you're in a game store, you really can't because you probably got a lot of background noise. But if you're able to do it, try providing some what I call mood music. There's a website. There's a lot of places you can go. You can probably go to YouTube and just pull up a game soundtrack or something. But there's a site called Melodice, melodice.org. And you just, when you go there, it just says choose a board game. You type it in and it's got a playlist and it'll just start playing. That's what I heard but like I just looked up Castles of Burgundy. They've got 118 songs in this. It's a 6-hour long playlist. So you can just put it on, have, pipe it to your Bluetooth speakers or something and have it just low it in the background. But like if you're playing a Star Wars you can play some Star Wars music. Just it really like enhances that game experience. Castles of Burgundy, they got all kinds of different songs that are going to be medieval and things that will fit like that style of game. So try some mood music, and it's pretty cool. You'll probably you'll have people probably say, "Oh, that's really neat." That
ambiance.
It adds to that ambiance. It makes such a really cool time. Just improves it overall.
And it is nice, depending on where you're playing. Like you said, if you're playing at somebody's house, it is nice to have something going where you're not totally in silence. There are times where, people like to chit chat, which is cool. I love that social aspect of it. But it is nice to not sit there in silence and, just hearing like, oh, there's a car that went by. Oh, there's a plane. And that's all that you hear while people are taking their turns. And sites like Melodice are really great for that. And it's a lot better than having a TV on.
Yes.
Because a TV will be a distraction. And, I know people love sports, but if you have a sporting game on that, and like half the people are into sports, I'd almost say like, don't go to game night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't go to game night while they're, yeah, exactly. Because those people are going to be like watching, focusing on the game, hooting and hollering, screaming at the TV, who knows what, right? They're not going to be invested in the game, and that can detract from the experience.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Am I up? Yeah, you did that one.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Next is have good lighting. Good lighting can help in so many different ways. Number one, if you're old like Mark, having poor lighting, you can't read anything. Now, as you get older, lighting is way more important. And I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about, where if I don't have good lighting, it's like I struggle reading small text with, like when I have my contact lenses in. And also good lighting can make or break a person for color discernment, right? Especially if you're colorblind. Having like, I have the red-green color blindness, and I struggle with some games, but if it's a really bright, well-lit room, I can usually get by based on shades.
Yeah.
So I can tell like, okay, this one, I have no idea if it's green or red, but it's a darker shade. So now I can, discern between the two, whereas the other color might be a lighter shade. So have good lighting, definitely helps with a lot of stuff. Reading cards, reading stuff on the board, discerning colors. And, there's people that don't have color blindness. When the lights are dim, just good luck trying to figure out, what's what on the OG Castles of Burgundy. with its 15 shades of tan on the different tiles. So definitely have good lighting.
And along with that is comfortable seating. If you can control it, comfortable seating, especially if you're going to be there for a long time. You've got to have decent chairs. If you're going to be in a long what is it? Twilight
Struggle. We played 6 hours.
Struggle. No,
Twilight Imperium.
Twilight Imperium. If you're going to be there 8 to 12 hours, and then like what Rob said, take food and drink breaks, get up, stretch your legs, because no matter how comfortable the chair is, you're not going to be sitting there for that long. But even the shorter ones, if you're there for an hour or two, you're going to be sitting. Try to have some good seating for people. Another option, I'm sitting on one now. My son got this for me. Get yourself something like a cushion like this. You can get them pretty inexpensive. You can put it on a regular kitchen chair, and it just cushions the tushy a little bit, and it helps improve for long times of play. So if you can have those things available, or even if you're going to a friend's, like this cushion, that's something you can just take with you.
I thought you were going to pull up one of those donuts.
Yeah, that would work.
Roids.
Hey, whatever works,
Yeah, exactly.
But comfortable seating there's been times where I'm just like, I'm having a good time, but it's like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable just from sitting too long, or the chair just being terribly uncomfortable. So it's important to try to make sure you've got the best you can control. I know that's a tough one to control. So if you don't have good seats for long duration, maybe invest in some, like some of those stadium cushions, those things those are not expensive, but it can add a little bit more comfort for very low price, just to have a couple of those around your house so that people can use those to sit on. That can be game changing. Oh, see what I did there?
Yes. Yeah. And hopefully you're not using folding chairs with the hard seats. At least a little bit of cushion definitely helps. But, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. If you have to bust out the folding chairs because of all the people that are there, it happens.
Yep.
All right, next up, this is like this is an interesting one, where to really help the situation, it's really important to have like people be good sports, where enjoy your time regardless of whether you win or lose. I know people are competitive, but come on, it's a game. Some people take it to the extreme. They there's fun, right, where you can tease your friends, if you have that kind of relationship.
You gotta have the table trash talk.
Yeah, that's fun. But hostility, people that are poor sports, people that are alpha gamers, hey, that can really hamper not just the game, but it can really like kill the mood for everybody, like all the way around. And worst case, people are leaving in the middle of a game. It's like, I'm out of here.
So I'm gonna throw myself under the bus. I'm normally very I lose most of the time, and I don't care. I have a good time. It's about playing games, playing different things, having those experiences, being exposed to socializing, seeing, playing older games that I, never, and just like, wow, with good people and just enjoying that. So keep in mind, sometimes life can get in the way. And unfortunately for me, a couple weeks ago, I got a lot going on in life, and I was not having a good time, and it had nothing to do with gaming. I go to try to escape, but it wasn't. Unfortunately, I had a bad reaction, and I just got real quiet, and I was grumbling under my breath, and everyone knew I was PO'd. But like Rob said, it's a game. And I felt really horrible afterwards. Like, oh my gosh, I threw a temper tantrum. I'm like a little child, and it bothered me. It impacted a relationship I had with someone where they actually stopped coming for a while. And, I reached out and apologized, and everyone else was okay. Everyone eventually was okay with it. They understood, but I ruined 3 other people's game night, and I just feel terrible about it. So if you're struggling, try to mind yourself, try to have that mental note, make your mental notes before you go in. Hey, I'm here to have fun. I'm not going to let anything get to me. It's just about having fun. And, I should have just kind of said something to my group. They're all friends. Should have said something. Hey, I'm struggling, I'm having a problem. Please don't take this, and I could have solved everything if I'd have just approached it different. But so try not to ruin everyone else's game night. Life is life, and life can suck, but we don't want to bring that into our fun with our friends. So try to go in with the right mindset. And if you feel that negative stuff creeping in, man, if you got to step away from the table, just excuse yourself, tell someone else, hey, can you take over for me? I need to step outside for 10, 15 minutes, take a quick walk, whatever it does. Our mental health is real important, and there's a lot of crap going on in the world today. And again, I just feel horrible that I ruined 3 other people's game experience that night. And so try not to let it happen to you if at all. Be aware of how you're feeling. Mm-hmm. And it's okay to step away. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. It matters that we have a good time. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Next up.
What? Oh yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, next up, while you're playing a game, don't play with a pen because it can be distracting.
Oh, shut up. I'm sorry.
Or keep cleaning your desk.
Fine. I'll control it with my fidget cube.
Okay.
But, I'm so sorry. Yes,
no,
Rob always is saying, stop doing all that.
I'm fidgety. I'm teasing Mark. But outside distractions, whatever they are, whether it's something in the space like a TV, like having something else going on nearby, if you can control it, just try to keep that stuff at a minimum, because, it can be distracting. It can make it difficult to, play a game, just whatever it is, just keep it down to a minimum.
Yeah. And this can be tough if you're a young family, you've got young kids. Yes. But if you are a family, the recommendation that I would recommend, if at all possible, is, see if your significant other can take the kids out, go for a fun thing, or have them watch a movie in another room that's, separate from where you're at, so that noise isn't spilling into where you're at, and try to minimize the kids coming in. I've done that. My kids will come in and I'm like, not now. Okay. Respect dad's time. Now if it's emergency, obviously come get dad. But if you're like, oh, can I have a snack, or can I do this, or can I, Billy's picking on me. Oh, well, they're going to pick on you till we're done here. So, you don't want to distract from everything, or you're always getting up to go tend with something. Then it's slowing down the game. It's interrupting everything. So again, to have a great night, you want to try to minimize everything, all the outside distractions that you possibly can. Again, just thinking of things ahead of time, making plans. Hey, let's send the kids to grandma's house for the night, or, you host it at some place where those aren't going to be there. Like, the problem that you might run into is, like, if you're not at home and you're doing it at like a game store where I'm at, the problem we have is other noise. There's a lot of tables. Some days that area is full and there's so much noise. The other night there was I want to say it was Flesh and Blood tournament going on. So, every 30 minutes are like, okay, the next person, here's the next teams for the, and you're just like, all of a sudden we're just like, what? And we're trying to hear, we can't hear our own selves at our own table. You can't control that. But you control or maybe try to move as far away as you can. But just be aware of things like that can distract or impede a great time. The next thing is respect for the property where you're at, whether it's someone else's house or your home or a game store. Always be respectful. Make sure the people that you're with are respectful of not only the place you're at and the property, but also the game. Even if it's a game, like a lot of game stores will have games that you can take off the shelf and play. Be respectful. Take care of it as if it was your own. Treat it nice. Put it away properly so that the next gamer can enjoy it.
Well, and hopefully, some people don't even take care of their stuff. It's like, have respect for the property that it is somebody else's, and treat it like they would treat it. Because there's some people that get really weird like this. I'm sort of guilty of this, and in the past, where like you get people that will like start flexing boards to get them to lay flat. You know what I'm talking about? Where you like flex them opposite.
Yeah.
And those can tear. Like if you push it too far, it'll rip that seam, because all it is a piece of tape. Like like piece of paper basically that's holding those board game or the board panels together. And I just remember I was doing it once, and then my buddy was like staring at me like mortified. And I'm like, I do it the same way, gently, like I would do my own, and I'm really careful, but he was still mortified.
Yeah.
And because you never know what's going to happen. And, we've all had the experience like of the 5-year-old, Dad, I'm going to fix this. Rip.
Snap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just did that to someone's game the other night, just last weekend, our pandemic game. It was the first time we pulled it out, and it was like bowed like this. I was very gently, she didn't say anything, and I was, but I was very gently, and I got it all
sitting
nice
there holding her breath. Eyes wide open.
That's why she didn't say anything. Her breath was held in. Like, what is he doing? So, but it's a great point. It's treat it with the utmost respect.
Yes.
And, it's someone else's game. What gets me is I'm very conscious, even with my own game. So even if I'm playing with others, we do eat, and everyone does eat, and I'm okay with that. But everyone is very good about wiping their hands and stuff. So but I would have a problem with food getting on them. But the problem I really have is when people bend cards.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, for the love of Pete, what are you doing? Like, stop. Like, stop bending them, because then they crease them and it ruins them. And it's just like, so that drives me insane. So, be careful of what you're doing, how you're handling the game and the pieces and the property and where you're at. So
exactly.
Because ruining someone's game, man, that's going to ruin it. That's going to just send that owner of that game into a spiral.
Yeah.
It won't be a great game night for them. Because games aren't cheap, my friend.
Yes.
Replacing this stuff is not cheap. And some stuff can't be replaced, depending on the age of the game.
That's true. Stuff gets out of print, unavailable, special editions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing is, try to be respectful of time while you're playing the game. And what I mean by this is the game should have a flow. There are people, like I know one guy that you and I both know. And when he plays, he gets really into it, and he's a min-maxer. He will literally sit there and go, if I do this, it'll score me 2 points. But if I do this, it'll score me 3 points. And if I do this, it'll score me 4 points. And at this point, like 15 minutes went by. And that can bring a game to a halt and kill the flow, suck the fun out of it. It's like, yeah, it's nice to win. It's nice to be competitive. That's all great. But, it is also nice to have a continual flow of the game where everybody takes roughly around the same time. I get there's certain circumstances, right, where you might have a special situation that requires extra analysis, or you don't understand something. You have to ask, that happens. That's fine. But analysis paralysis, min-maxing, maybe there's a time and a place for that. Like if your life depends on that game, like if it's like you're playing the Running Man of board games, right? And you are literally playing for your life, or what's that, Squid Game or something like that?
Yeah, Squid Games.
Yeah. Maybe then it's fine, but keep the flow. Keep the game going, because you want to move on and play another game after this.
Yeah. And on top of that, to make sure you're getting your games in that you're planning to play, make sure you've scheduled enough time to play those games. So don't say we're going to get together for 2 hours tonight to play Twilight Imperium when the listed game time is 240 to 480 minutes. Okay, you're not going to get it done in 120. All right. So also, you got to remember, if you're teaching people the game, you could have a lot of time prior to the start of it that you need to dedicate to teaching. And then there will be slowdowns as people are learning. So the game's going to take longer. So it's important to, I'm going to bring this, like when I was going to bring Nemesis Retaliation tomorrow night. And because one of the guys that's there had asked, he's like, hey, I really want to play that again. So then he messaged me earlier today, and he's like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm like, okay, we'll play Nemesis, next week or the week after. So now I switched it up, and that was the only game I would bring because that's a whole night, and so now it's like, okay, I can bring a couple other games. So I can bring Lightning Train and Tend. We'll be able to play both of those. So it's important to plan enough time to be able to play the games that you intend to play, along with that buffer time. You get your meal times, your breaks, stuff like that. Otherwise, it really sucks when you're halfway through a game and like maybe you're like we get kicked out because the store closes, or you run late. Or if you're at your home, some people might have a sitter or they've got to get up for work the next day, or so then they have a hard stop, and then everybody else's might be different. And nothing sucks being halfway through the game and a player drop out because they got to go home. It ran too long. Now it's like, well, that just throws the whole game off, because what do? Most games that run long don't handle losing someone in the middle of it very well. So just kind of keep that in mind, and hopefully you can complete everything you plan to play and in the time allotted. So that just comes down to respecting everybody else's time as well as your own time. What do you have available?
No. Oh, for sure.
And I think that leads us, Rob, to the most important thing to a great game night. And you brought this up. Yeah, are you good? What is it, Rob? Because you put it on here.
There's so many ways to hit this one. And it's all making sure that stuff doesn't hit other people's noses. Those odoriferous emanations that can happen, that can be brutal. And this is everything from hygiene, cleanliness. There's BO, there's bad breath, there's some people have funks to them, foot odor, right? Because when you're at somebody's house, a lot of people, like, you come to my house, you take your shoes off. We don't do shoes inside the house. And it's like, just try to be respectful. I know stuff happens, like you're in a rush for some reason when you're putting on your deodorant, you forget to do one pit. And then, then all of a sudden it's like, what happened to the left? Keep your arm down. Only reach with the right if that's necessary. But
big old wet stains under the arms.
I get stuff happens, right? Or if we're busy, you were doing stuff prior to going to game night, stuff happens, but just be mindful, just try to have good hygiene. Because I know I've had some instances, particularly at Gen Con, where, and I don't think I told you about this one, Mark. There was this one dude that was at Big Game Night one year that I went, and he was sitting next to me. I couldn't freaking handle it. I was literally like ready to walk, and it was freaking brutal. I had a saving grace where they let people leave early. It wasn't like they've been doing the last couple of years where you kind of need to stay most of the time. They basically said, hey, like it was like an hour in. If you want, you can get your box now. And thankfully he got up and he left immediately. But if you're like gagging, you can't play a game while you're gagging.
No, you can't.
Yeah. Maybe I went into too much detail. But feet, pits, General Funk, they make whole body deodorants now. I really don't understand them. But
breath.
Yeah, breath, brush your teeth, use mouthwash or wear one of those COVID masks if you got really bad halitosis or something. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But
wow, we just got canceled.
Yeah, wear your PPE.
Well, we made it 108 episodes, folks. Or I should say 107. Yeah. This one will probably get pulled.
Yeah.
No.
But just just be mindful of that stuff, and stuff happens, and you could say excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, wash out your pit. It'll smell like hand soap for a little while. Anyway. TMI, I know.
That's our list, how to host a great game night. And there could be more. We'd love to hear from you. Feel free to email us at contact@thisboardgamelife.com.
Let us know.
We'll share your comments in a future show, and let us know what you might think makes a great game night. We may have missed some stuff, so I'm sure we did.
If you're catching us on YouTube or some of the other platforms, leave a comment on there.
Absolutely.
Well, YouTube.
And while you're there, like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you'll never miss any new content.
Exactly.
That's all I got, Rob.
Yeah, that's all I got. So now there's no excuse for people not to have great gaming experiences.
Yeah.
They know the Uber gaming experience. That's to invite you and me to play with them.
Yep.
But you also know the other things to have fun with your friends and family.
Yeah.
So, all right.
You can have the Uber time. You can at least have a great time with others.
Exactly.
So
I believe that's it for episode 108. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll call it a close here. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you all on episode 109 in 2 weeks. I'm Rob, and see you at the table.
Mark. See ya.